Hello, friends. My name is Cecily, and I am feeling very excited because for the next maybe 12 up to 15 minutes, you and I are going to look at an informational essay that I have written about astronauts. Why? Because, as you may recall, when you sit down at the end of the year to take the CAASPP Performance Task, in the second part, it's going to ask you to write an essay. It might be an opinion, it might be a narrative essay, or in our case, an informational piece. This is what we're going to do. We're going to read the prompt because I will tell you, reading the directions is a fantastic idea. They just really let us know what we need to do. We're going to read the prompt. We're going to look at my truly excellent example of an informational essay. And then we're going to look at the rubric, that we use to grade an essay, to look for the things that make it excellent, and see how truly excellent my informational essay was. Okay. Here's the prompt, right? When you sit down to take the CAASPP in part 2 of the performance task, you'll read something like this. Your teacher is creating a bulletin board display, in the school library, to show what your class has learned about different types of jobs. Great, this all makes sense so far. You decide to write an informational article on astronauts. Here we go. Your article will be read by other students, teachers, and parents. Using more than one source, develop a main idea about being an astronaut. Choose the most important information from the sources to support your main idea. Then, write an informational article that is several paragraphs long. Clearly organize your article and support your main idea with details from the sources. Can we do this? Yes. And here's what I always say about these performance tasks. What is the heart of what you're doing? What is the core? Your notes. I say scratch paper is your best friend. When you sit down, you get a piece of paper. You get a pen. You could even get 2 pens, right? If you want to use different colors to pull out these nuggets of information that are going to make your essay excellent and interesting. Okay, so we know we're writing an informational essay about astronauts. Prepare yourself. I hope you're sitting down. We're about to read the informational essay that I wrote based on the notes that I took from the 2 sources about astronauts. Being an astronaut is hard work, but also fun. The end. Sorry. I really thought I had put a lot more effort into this essay. Okay, here we are. We're together. This is a draft. I feel like you and I can work together to brainstorm, look at the rubric for what makes an excellent essay, and figure out how we can improve this thing. Okay? You ready? Here we go. You may be familiar with rubrics, right? I love rubrics. It's a tool that says, if you want to get a 4, which is excellent, you've got to include these things. If it's a 3, which is good, right? That's at your grade level. This is what it's going to look like. This is a 2, which needs more effort, and this is a 1 that needs a whole lot more effort. Here's what I want to point out, right? In the rubric for solid writing and for the CAASPP, there's really only 3 sections. It's about how organized your essay is. It's about the details that you include. And that section is called elaboration, about the details and facts that you use. And then the last section is conventions. Punctuation, capitalization, that kind of thing. That's it. There's just those 3 categories. So we're going to start with organization. How can we improve my essay? And what is the best score you can get? A 4. So what column are we going to look at? 4. Because we can do it. I know we can. Okay, in a 4 essay, it's going to have these 4 things. Number 1, the introduction makes a clear claim so that it's obvious to the reader what the essay is about and what information will follow. Okay. Do we really have an introduction here? Being an astronaut is hard work, but also fun. I mean, there's potential there. I think all we have to do is then figure out where we go from there to show that it's hard work, but also fun. There's hope. Okay, second thing, the paragraphs are clearly organized. It is evident that the writer planned out which information to present and in what order based on the thesis statement. It's hard work, but fun. Each paragraph is about one topic and one topic only, and there is no extra random information. Can we do that? Yes. Do we currently have more than one paragraph? No. So we're going to need to figure that out. How are we going to figure that out? By going to our notes. So let's take a brief look. What can we do here? Okay, here are the notes. This is what I recommend, right? You're sitting there. You take your notes on the sources. Give yourself a high five. Breathe. Then, who's your best friend? Scratch paper and a pen. Then you say, all right, let me plan out what it is that we're going to say. Friends, when I take my notes on the sources, I do like at the end to highlight for myself what the conclusion was, right? And in source 1, the conclusion was, hey, astronauts have many adventures, but work hard. That influenced my opening here. Being an astronaut is hard work, but also fun. Okay. What we need to do here is come up with a main idea. I always like to keep it simple. And let me tell you, I don't always know right away what my main idea is going to be. Sometimes I have to take notes. Okay. Here's what I'm seeing from our notes. Okay. Hard work, but also fun. What makes it hard work? All right. Exciting, but not easy. Here's what I'm seeing here from source 1. They train for hundreds of hours. I'm going to write this down. Takes lots of training. And I can see here there are a lot of good details and facts that we can use about what that training is. Medical skills, riding this special vehicle, pickup truck with 12 wheels. Lots of good meat here. All right, but what else makes it hard? Okay, you know what else makes it hard? This is what I also see in source number 1. You know what makes it hard? They're doing everything that they're doing while floating because there is no gravity. I'm going to write this down too. Okay. Number 1, takes lots of training and hours of time. Number 2, they have to do everything while floating. Okay. In general, friends, in this kind of essay, we're usually looking for 3 things, right? Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. 3 things that we're going to teach our reader. And guess what? We are lucky. There is a 3rd thing that makes this job difficult. Did you see? I don't know if you've, taken notes or read these sources. Guys, their faces get puffy and their necks get bigger and they get what they call bird legs because blood flow really changes when they have no gravity. Does that sound difficult? Yes. I'm thinking that's going to be the 3rd paragraph. The 3rd point is their bodies, and I see it up here, strange. Their bodies feel strange in space. Do we have specific details to back that up? Yeah, puffy face, bird legs. It says right here, they sometimes feel sick. Right. Oh, and they get weak because their heart doesn't have to work as hard, but then it becomes less strong because it's not working as hard. Difficult, okay? So look at this. Hold on. What does an informational essay start with, according to the rubric? Introduction. What is it going to end with? Conclusion. And thank you, scratch paper and piece of paper. We went to our notes to identify a main idea and things to say about it. Introduction. Being an astronaut is hard work, but fun. In this essay, we will look at 3 of the things that make it difficult. First, that it takes a lot of training. Second, that astronauts need to do everything while floating. And that third, their bodies often feel strange in space. I think that's a pretty amazing introduction. Is it obvious to the reader what that's about? Yeah. Did we lay out what information will follow? Yeah. Okay, let's continue the last points about it. Each paragraph transitions smoothly from one to the other using transitions, such as similarly, by contrast. One example of this is, can we put transitions in this essay? Heck yeah. I even have a list right here. You might have some favorite ones that you have. First, second, third, also, moreover, furthermore, after all, on the other hand, because, in other words, for instance, given these points, ultimately, in conclusion. I love transition words. When I'm reading and I see these, my brain automatically understands, oh, this is what they're about to talk about. Can you use transition words in your essay? Yeah. Such an easy and clear way to improve our writing. Transition words. Finally, there is a strong logical conclusion that reinforces the claim/thesis statement for the audience. Can we create a strong conclusion? Yes, we can. I'm feeling very excited about our essay. Okay? In conclusion, right, as we have seen above, it is hard but also very fun to be an astronaut, right? Including lots of training, doing everything while floating, and navigating the strange things that happen to their bodies while in space, including having puffy faces. I think this informational essay is going to be amazing. All right, let's look at the next section and see how in our next draft we can make it excellent. This is the elaboration section about details. Here we go. Regularly uses relevant and specific facts and details to teach the reader useful information about the topic. Do we have specific facts and details? Yes, we do. Where did we get them from? Notes. I'm telling you, notes are what it's all about. Okay. We are explaining, we're going to use so many of these. Like, you know how in that first section, for example, we said it takes lots of training. We can give these specific details. Here's one note that I'm pulling out right here. Astronauts need to get training in doing science experiments, how to eat and exercise while floating. They need to learn how to work as a team because, specific fact and detail that I'm using from source 1, as many as 8 astronauts work together in one spacecraft, as stated in source 1. So are we including facts and details from the sources? Yeah, we are. I'd give us a 4. Consistently cites the sources for the included facts and details. What does that mean? That means we're also explaining which source it came from. As source 1 says, as stated in source 2 says, citing. Can you do that? Yes. Can I do that? Yes. We're going to get a 4. Consistently uses specific, clear word choice appropriately. You may have already talked in class about specific words versus general words. General words being like stuff, things. What does it want to see? Specific, clear word choice. Talk about the specific things. Talk about gravity. Use a specific thing like International Space Station. The more specific and concrete your words and details, the better. Finally, this is it in terms of details. Effectively uses elaborative techniques such as metaphors and personal experience to support the thesis. Can you use metaphors in your essay? Yeah, so can I. In fact, we already did by talking about bird legs. Because do they actually have bird legs? No. Do they feel like bird legs? Yes. Metaphor to help us envision how skinny their legs get. Because gravity means the blood doesn't flow there as much as it does when we're on Earth. We've got this. Because finally, the very last category, conventions, simply says adequate use of correct punctuation, capitalization, grammar, spelling, and sentence formation. And this section is only worth up to 2 points, right? As opposed to 4, because is it as important? Nope. They just want to make sure that any typos or spelling errors or grammar errors doesn't get in the way of our reader's understanding. So look at this. Being an astronaut is hard work, but also fun. Did we capitalize? Yeah. Do we have punctuation? Yeah. I don't see any spelling issues. I mean, we could have chosen to use a comma there. Not necessary. Friends, I give this a 2 because all it has to be is adequate. Is this adequate? Could you understand it? I understood it. Let's give it a 2. Friends, I hope that if you have the opportunity to write an informational essay, perhaps even about astronauts, that you, number 1, have fun. Number 2, rely on your friend's scratch paper to take great notes and to plan out what it is that you want to say. I just want to point this out. Sometimes I feel desperate. Sometimes I feel sad. Sometimes I'm in the middle of writing and I'm like, there's no way this is all going to come together. I can't even come up with the main idea. I just want to say that's normal. That is part of the writing process. That happens. Take a breath. Maybe even doodle a little bit, right? Give your brain a little break. And then just go back to the notes. And it will all come together. Have fun.